the prioritization and the preservation of a woman's value used to be her purity. That's gone out the window now. It's very, very rare for guys to wed a pure woman today. They used to look at the bed sheets back in the day to verify this. Today, it's like pointless. You're never going to find it. How couples met from 1930s to 2024. So this is how people met. Should I go larger screen? This is how people met in the 1930s. Family, school, friends. So like the top were basically family, friends, and education, right? We don't need the audio. We can kill that. But family, friends, and education. As time goes on, family, now it's friends, school, family, neighbors. Now bar, restaurant starts to move up. Okay. Now we got coworkers starting to move up because people are going to the workforce. Women are now entering the workforce in the 60s, of course. Bar, restaurants moving up, coworkers moving up, schools coming down. Bar, restaurant, family, friends, coworkers, bar, restaurant, family, friends, still at the top. Still, friends is right at the very top, even in the 1990s. And then what happens around 1999, 2000? The internet's comes to age. Now, boom, look at online pushing itself right up to the. So right around 2014, right around 2011, 2012, online now surpasses friends. Friends was at the top for the vast majority of this entire chart. You know, your social circle, your network, your church, whatever, you know, the bridge club, the bowling club. Now all of a sudden by 2011, about 10 years after the internet, now we've got online. And online now dominates friends, coworkers, bar, restaurant, everything. Everything's destroyed. Online is now 60%. And the problem with that is that with online dating, I mean, we already know this. It's worth rehashing again. The vast majority of women find the vast majority of men on dating apps totally unattractive and undateable. 80%, they claim, are unattractive and completely undateable. That's the male population that's represented on dating apps. All of these women want the top 20% of guys, which means they're being promiscuous. They're being they are sharing guys. Okay, so you've got to do something about the promiscuity aspect of things. And back in the days, like, you know, where this thing first started back in the 30s, right, where it was family, school, friends up at the top, which accounted for about 60% of how couples met back then, has been removed and been replaced with, well, I can now download an app and sit here and I can swipe left, swipe right, up and down, all that kind of stuff. I can do it in bed at night while I'm taking a bubble bath, drinking my wine with my candles, talking to my girlfriend, sort of thing. Women have a very, very easy way of connecting with a bunch of dudes, multiple, and it leaves them completely spoiled for choice. It leaves them with so many options, whereas in the past, they only had like a small social circle, probably around 20 miles around where they lived, right? They would probably be introduced to family, friends, church, colleagues. You know, maybe they went to a sporting event to watch the high school or the college team play football or something like that. And then that's where they would make their connections. But now you can just, whatever, right across the city, 100 miles across the city. Oh, I'm going to travel to Europe this summer and go to Italy and backpack. Cool. I'm going to set my location over there and I'm going to meet Pablo and Tony and all these guys. And we're going to go through a bunch of those D's over there. Next couple months, we're going to go to Spain. We're going to backpack through it. And, you know, they run into this, scenario where it's like, the prioritization and the preservation of a woman's value used to be her purity. That's gone out the window now. It's very, very rare for guys to wed a pure woman today. They used to look at the bed sheets back in the day to verify this. Today, it's like pointless. You're never going to find it. But that's a serious problem, is encouraging women to get into it. And one of the problems is you have to discourage promiscuity, because once you've gone through variety as a chick, 30, 40, 300 guys, doesn't matter what it is, whatever the count happens to be, you're like, we'll just keep going. I'll find a better one. It doesn't matter. You go, girl. There's lots of options out there. Whereas in the 1930s, your mom or your grandmother would sit you down and be like, look, girl, you're 19 years old. What are you waiting for? Right? Like, I was married when I was 17 and already had my second kid. Right? This is what they were doing in the 1930s. The encouragement was, go and form a family and have some kids and find a good guy and raise his family. Now the conversation is totally different. A lot of single mother households raise, boys and girls. They turn boys into betas. Single mother households are basically beta factories. That's another big problem. Is you've got to bring the father back into the household, right? A lot of dads are removed by mom, either by way of divorce or he's pushed out of the house because she's difficult and he's not able to deal with it. We're not equipped to fix this problem overnight. I'm going to be completely honest with you. None of this is getting fixed right away. And it's not, oh, let's go to Saudi Arabia to fix it. That's not how you fix shit in the West. You have to have a complete overhaul of the entire system and the network. You've got to get guys and gals together. And again, men and women are better together than they are apart, given conventional circumstances and standards. In the environment that we work in today, where guys go off in the workforce and 80% of them are unattracted to women, because let's be honest, there's a lot of soft, weak guys. And then these women go in the workforce and they climb the corporate ladder and they get degrees and they buy their house and their Teslas and their 17 cats and their throw pillows from HomeSense and all that sort of stuff. And then by the time they're in their 30s, her biological clock's ticking and she's like, I need to find a guy. She's looking at the guys and 80% of them are gross to them, because there's legit some guys that just don't have it together, that are incompetent and unattracted to women. And in the top 20% that can get girls, they're like, why should I settle down? Or they're looking at the quality of what they can consider settling down type of material. And they're like, yeah, but she's been through 40 dudes. Why do I want to make her the mom of my kids, sort of thing. Right. So you've got these massive divides that you got to start fixing. I think that a lot of it can correct itself within about 10 to 15 years with the right policies in place. But they're not introducing any of these right policies to encourage, the formation of the household. You're also being robbed financially of your wealth by the government, right? So job, just over broke. That's what it stands for. Most people that get a job, job, just over broke, find themselves in a situation of this vicious cycle where they're on the merry-go-round of debt, where there's usually more month at the end of the money that they make, and they don't even have the financial resources or means to raise a family because they're paying it all through taxes. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here, where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.